So today I'm finally playing it, Schlieffen in Airship Escort. I'm sure a lot of you initially thought that this would be the best ship you could possibly take into this game mode, and I'm not gonna say you're wrong, because this game is actually insane how well we're able to do. But I think Schlieffen does lack a little bit of staying power, although the offensive killing capability is pretty extreme on this ship. So we have to use islands very intelligently to at least try to keep ourselves alive, right? Schlieffen's weakness is going to be its lack of HP and mediocre armor, especially at closer ranges. There's some very overmatchable parts of this ship that can take a ton of damage. But if we run into some lightly armored ships, these secondaries are going to tear them up, and we're going to do a ton of damage with the Schlieffen here. We actually catch a Sherman off guard right at the beginning of this game. I'm often going up to this island if I spawn on this side of the map. I push here, use it as cover, trying to prevent myself from being permanently spotted or shot at a bunch. And I was initially going to push around the 1, 2, 3 lines, and then I saw the Sherman's only escape was to run out this way into the channel. So we're going to just take them out real quick. This does put us at a bit of risk. But you'll notice I'm pushing very aggressively for these islands on the left. This is a really important thing to deal with when it comes to brawling in a lot of these battleships. You're putting yourself in a very bad position where you really don't have a lot of help from your team, and at least 3 or 4 of the enemy ships are able to shoot at you. And you'll notice we do lose quite a bit of HP. We're almost down to half at the moment. We do have a heal and damage control available. We do end up eventually getting the Sherman. At least our teammates do, and we are just able to sneak past these torps and get into this little island cover here. So this is like early game hyper-aggressive Schlieffen that happened to work out. It's very easy to just die in these circumstances. I've done it quite a few times. We even get a really nice parting salvo there onto that G-Nan, and plenty of secondary hits as well to bump up our damage. And now we're going to take just a small little pause here, all right? We've done more than enough. 50k opening engagement like that. We basically control the 1, 2, 3 lines. And if you are going to play Schlieffen, which I do think you should, it's a very fun ship to play in this game mode, you have to be looking for these opportunities to just have a bit of a checkpoint rest spot while your teammates push up and take advantage of all the space that you've created on the map by, well, forcing the enemy team away. And yep, we're actually going to get some torp hits with those torps. They're pretty slow, good for zoning areas out, but we just so happen to land a torp, and maybe even 2. We actually do get the G-Nan killed somehow there. This was just a game where everything went right, and it was a lot of fun, honestly, playing Schlieffen like this. It's not every day that I get to brawl out this hard. Something about the Airship Escort, too, I think that allows for the Schlieffen to play a little more aggressive, and all ships, really, all these battleships that want to brawl, is the change in orientation of the map. Even though we spawned in the same spots we would for a standard or domination battle, the way that these airships move across the map, starting from one side and going to the other, it almost creates this rotation, maybe 45, 90-degree rotation on the map, and suddenly a lot of these islands become a lot more usable. You'll notice that this position that I'm in is very safe in this game, yet in a standard random battles game, well, I'd just be farmed out from the guys on the 1, 2, 3 line. There's always going to be someone there in a standard or domination game. Whereas here, not so much. People tend to gravitate towards the airship and kind of forget the flanks. This is something that I've kind of been talking about all week as I've kind of shown you different ships, battleships, cruisers, and how they can play really well. People ignore flanks a lot, so taking advantage of that and using some of these islands that wouldn't be safe, that are now safe, is really, really nice. Unfortunately, there is a DD in front of us. We don't have our Hydro, so we have to just stop and reverse. Just take our time, be patient. We're very much ahead on hit points and kills here, and our airship is farther ahead. So there's not really too much worry of us losing this game, especially with how much control we have over the end destination for these airships. We just gotta play patient, don't over push. Somehow we even are able to Citadel a Vincent at that range. I was kind of surprised to see that out of the Schlieffen. But hey, lucky Citadel, I'll take it. I was just checking my secondary health there. Sometimes when you get into these early brawls and you take a lot of HE pressure, especially because I think the St. Vincent was shooting HE at us as well. Very big, high damaging HE shells, they can take the secondaries off your ship very, very quickly. Fortunately, that hasn't happened. We still have all our secondaries, and that's one of the main weaknesses, I guess, to some of these ships that do rely or want to build around their secondaries is they just get blown off your ship very quickly sometimes. And then all of those points are useless. I will say that the build here is not optimal. I'll show it to you at the end. I really wanted something where I could switch Lucian's, the special commander here that gives us increased secondary reload, better secondary reload after 100 hits. I wanted to run him on the Schlieffen, on the GK, on the Preussen, different ships, and not have to constantly be respecking for either doubloons or Elite Commander XP. So it's a bit of a weird hybrid build, but it seemed to work out here, and I actually had a pretty decent GK game the other day as well. So maybe that is something you could look at as well if you want to play a ton of Airship Escort. I don't think it's good in random battles, but for this Airship Escort, if you have a couple of these high-tier German battleships, the build might do reasonably well for you, which we'll get to after this game. Somehow we do 25k to that Kurfürst, by the way. That has to be one of the luckiest salvos I've had in the Schlieffen. This ship does not have very high alpha damage on these shells. They're not the strongest either when it comes to pen. And of course, we're running a secondary build here. We're not going to have the best dispersion either. So yeah, definitely I can complain about getting unlucky, but that was a lucky salvo into that 4GK. Not that it probably would have changed too much of the result here. We're already up to 148k. Probably easily going to win this one. And since we're in a Schlieffen, what are we going to do when there's 3 enemy ships behind an island? We're just going to charge into them and see what happens. We have so much firepower here at these closer ranges, we may as well go for it. I don't do the best job of angling here. You're going to see me take actually a couple huge hits from the St. Vincent. But I do have to focus on the DD. These torpedoes are going to be the best way for them to kill me. St. Vincent as well. Watch out for those bow on 30,000 damage torps. So we do try to make sure we dodge that one torp as best as we possibly can. You saw how much damage he was able to do with just his front 2 turrets. That's either I didn't angle correctly or he got into that overmatchable stuff. So very easy to take a lot of damage at these closer ranges from battleships that can overmatch you. Fortunately though, not dead, and we are going to get our torpedoes off onto this Vincent, and he gets another huge hit into us. Very good job by him getting ready at least to try and kill me, but we do manage to live. Things just worked out in this game with the Schlieffen. I don't know. It just so happened that I walked in and nobody really got those massive critical hits in on me, and I was able to do enough damage to stay alive at least to get to one of those checkpoint islands, or at least for the game to finish. So yeah, not every match in Schlieffen is going to look like this, but I hope you enjoyed watching this one. Very entertaining one where everything happened to work out. And even got over 50k damage out of the secondaries. Quite a bit of value there even. So the upgrades are pretty similar to what we've seen before as far as the build is concerned on the Schlieffen. I'm going all out on the secondaries here. I do think a hybrid build Schlieffen could work reasonably well. Most of the time when I play this ship, I'm pleasantly surprised by how good the main guns actually are, even though we don't have very many of them and they're not the best caliber. But considering it's Airship Escort, and everything's going to be at a little bit closer ranges, we got to go all out on these secondaries. And they do a really, really good job. But the commander here is the weird part, and I'm fully aware that this is not optimal at all. But I've given up a lot here to have a good close-range brawler commander that's basically all in on damage. So IFHE is here because Schlieffen wants these small caliber secondaries to pin at least 32 millimeters. It's very important. And then I'm taking gun feeder since there are times where I do want to switch to the HE on these lower caliber battleships against other battleships, or if there's a DD that's YOLO rushing me or something like that, there are opportunities where that does work. Both secondary skills, of course, since we're going all out on those, adrenaline rush even, and close quarters combat. Since we're so close, we may as well just get a free 10% reload on our main guns as well. I'm taking fire prevention to try and stay alive a little bit longer. Again, this is where that hybrid build comes in. Maybe with the Schlieffen, I'd probably be better off with emergency repair expert, since we do have those fast cooldown damage controls. But if I'm going to play the Preussen or the GK, we don't have that, so we need to survive those fires a little bit somehow. No concealment, since we're pushing aggressive, we're not really going to be undetected that much. And again, emergency repair expert, we're probably not getting to that last heal anyway. In either we're winning the game or we're dead. That's kind of how I've been playing these ships, and that's about how the games have gone. We've either won, and I've maybe gotten down to my last heal, or in this case, we did get down and have no heals left, but we still won. Or I've died with like 3 or 4 heals remaining. It kind of goes one way or the other. It's very extreme, but a lot of fun. Schlieffen definitely works very, very well in Airship Escorts. So thank you guys very much for watching this video as a tugboat ruins our final shot here. Thank you. Thanks for watching this video, guys, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.